need the hater blockers for this one. 3, 2, 1, I am not your friend. You see, influencers online, people online, figures online, and the community that they build, the community that watches them, develop this thing called a parasocial relationship. I create this video that I give you a sneak peek into my life, and you feel as if you know me. You know me. I'm DJ. I'm your friend. I'm on the internet. I'm your pal. I'm your cigar reviewing crackhead buddy on the internet. Because of the internet and the power of a parasocial relationship, you feel as if you know me. I give you insights into my life. We develop a bond. Not just myself, but any influencer or person of influence that you watch online. That's the power of social media and the power of a parasocial relationship. You develop a kinship with the person you're watching online. And the problem with that relationship is it's not necessarily real. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my supporters, and I'm sure most social media influencers do, and we definitely recognize the names. Far be it from me to say that I'm such a big channel that I don't know who you are. That's not the problem. The problem is when influencers take advantage of that parasocial relationship. You see, this channel, as I said many times before, is my therapy. I give you a sneak peek into my life, and we relate because people with shared experiences, shared backgrounds, shared, not troubled backgrounds, but troubled, mind you, tend to flock together. That's why the Bushel of Bad Apples that I ask you to join is a fabulously flawed family, and not just a fabulous family. Now, sadly, the social media world is highly exploitive. And you may say, yeah, influencers get exploited by large corporations all the time. No, it's this way. It's this way. You get exploited. You get exploited into thinking that you are friends with someone online in order to purchase something. And that's the number one thing, the biggest flaw, the biggest grift in this whole industry is people that utilize the parasocial relationship to take advantage of you. The biggest red flag, the first red flag that you could ever see is when your influencer, the person that you are watching, that you have developed this bond with, all of a sudden asks for money. And maybe not through donations, because absolutely you can support the people that you love. That's not a problem. Maybe they have created something that they want to share, right? That's not necessarily bad as well, but when you realize that the entire time they've been pretending to be your friend, they're really just stroking that flame to sell you something. So with one of this video, I'm going to say to beware the social media influencer, but more specifically to us, beware the cigar personality that pretends to be your friend just so they can sell you something. Now, there are 3 types, as I mentioned, that I believe exist in our industry. And I will say that this whole video is an opinion. So remember that. It's my opinion. You may disagree, you may have your own opinion, and that's perfectly fine, but I believe there are three types specifically. The professional fake social media influencer, the cigar shop owner who pretends to be your friend, and the cult leader. And you may think that that is in scaling of terrifying, but it's not. I'm going to go ahead and do it in reverse order. Let's talk about the cult leader first. The cult leader personality maybe is an owner of a cigar brand, a cigar company, a cigar movement, might you will. And your first thought might be Pravada, and that's probably the first example that I would come to mind. But the problem with that is I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that because they're very, very upfront. Mind you this, say what you want, think what you want about Brian. As far as him wanting an army of screaming fanatics championing Pravada and that being his grift, it's not a grift because he walks up to you and says, that's what I want. And honestly, respect, man, because I don't think Pravada Cigar Club is actually a cigar club. I don't think that's what they do best. I think that's what they do, and that's what their industry is. But no. See, Brian and Pravada's in general, I can't think of his buddy's name, Johnny Taquito or something like that, what they do absolutely best in this industry. I know, surprising, DJ sounding not ominous saying this. They're a media production company. And not just that, they're a pretty fucking good one. They're pretty upfront. Yeah, Brian does some interesting things. Yeah, some might call it shady. But he's very upfront that he wants a screaming mob of Pravada fanatics behind him. He utilizes that parasocial relationship, and he relies on those who, sorry, if you like Pravada cigars, that's perfectly fine, but I'm talking about the fandom. The fandom of Pravada cigars are typically not the most popular people. We'll go with that. Maybe not the most friendly of people. I've experienced that firsthand. They think that Brian needs protection. I don't think the man needs any type of I think he's good. So the cult leader is the first version, and I'm not saying Pravada specifically does anything wrong in this, but I definitely think they use and potentially abuse the parasocial relationship that is developed online. And working in marketing my entire life has taught me two things, really. I was going to say one, but it's two. One, everything, and I mean everything, is marketing. And two, a shark's going to be a shark. And this world will always be filled with sharks. And you can't really get mad at a shark for being a shark. Kind of. When a shark pretends to be your friend and then he eats you, that might be a bit of a different story. Maybe just uses you for sustenance and to support his business. But that leads us to number two, the cigar shop owner who pretends to be your friend. I mean, cigar shop owners got to sell cigars, right? So why not start up a social media following and gain some following and all that jazz and really connect with your audience to better sell cigars? And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that specifically, but it's when you pretend to just be another cigar smoker, right? And that's the crux, right? Because like I said, I understand cigar shops need to sell cigars. In the day of social media, you need to have a social media presence. You absolutely do. And true, cigar shop owners are just probably cigar smokers who want to enjoy cigars. But it's when you act as if you're just a cigar smoker and you leave the fact that you own a cigar line, or maybe you own an entire cigar shop, and you kind of just don't look at that. Ignore that fact, and just listen. I'm going to talk about the cigar right here. Let me just talk about the cigar right here. And as soon as you are listening to someone who sells cigars professionally for a reason, another red flag should tick off in your brain. Because nothing they say can be taken for real. I mean, is someone like going to sit there and really trash a brand like Oliva and risk potentially never being able to buy from them again? No. So can you fully trust whenever they do a review? No. I doubt that we'll ever see a cigar company really talk bad, a cigar shop basically, really talk bad about a specific brand of prominent cigars. How many times have you seen a cigar reviewer online be a cigar shop owner and give a bad review to a cigar? And I'm not talking about a bad review to a cigar, I'm talking about a don't buy this review for a cigar. Not, it's got this blah 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 flavor, maybe it's just not for me. No, I'm talking like, this shit sucks, don't buy it. If you have seen that review from a cigar shop owner, please let me know, because I'd love to see it. But I don't think you would do that because it would be damaging to their cause. But isn't that disingenuous? Because with the multitude of cigars, the freaking amazing amount of cigars out there, logically, mathematically, some of them have to suck ass. That's just the truth. There's no way it's not true. There's no way it's not true. Even from prominent brands, they're gonna make flops. They're gonna make cigars that suck. That's just the truth. But I bet you won't see a cigar shop owner reviewing those. Because why would it? It wouldn't behoove them to do so for their business. But if you never say bad things about cigars, and you only review good cigars, or you quote, only review cigars you like, then every review you do is disingenuous. Are definitely taking advantage of that parasocial relationship to sell you something. And that's the crux of it all. That's the point of this video, is to be wary when someone develops a relationship with you online to try and sell you something. Which leads me to the most prominent of all of these types of channels, the professional influencer. Now, I say it's the most prominent because, let's be honest, there are more influencers out there trying to sell you something than there are shops trying to sell you something. And at the end of the day, that shop is just trying to stay afloat. That shop is trying to make money. That shop is trying to pay its employees. That shop almost has to twist their arm to not do it. Because no matter what, if you make content online, you're probably going to develop a fandom if you have the charisma, if you have the gumption, if you have the drive, if you have the XYZ, and no matter what you're doing, people are trying to sell you things. Now, DJ, you are a hypocrite, because you try and sell me things. You're even making promotional videos with brands. I mean, yeah, in a sense, that's true. I'm not going to act like I'm not, but I'm not necessarily trying to sell you anything. I'm getting free shit, and if you want to buy it, I get a kickback. Now, you may ask yourself, right, but these are people that are putting in time to make videos. So of course they're going to try and make money somehow, right? I mean, am I saying that an influencer shouldn't be paid for their time, shouldn't make money doing this, shouldn't be able to make this a career if they are good at it? No. Who the hell would say that? In fact, in other videos, one I even did earlier this year, I told a social media influencer to get that bag. Get that bag. The red flag is when I go on here and I tell you I'm your friend, and I tell you I'm your friend, and I tell you I'm your friend, and I'm giving you tips and tricks and things you can do because we're just the same. We're just regular old guys. But also, I'm selling this thing over here that teaches you how to do what I do. Like a course, but maybe in paper form. Things like that might raise a red flag for somebody. It might make you think, that's kind of weird. The amount of people who are just trying to take advantage of others to gain something. Pretty shitty, in my opinion. And you can tell this, the number one tell, is they usually have a course. They usually have a course they can sell you. You've seen it. You've seen it in the fitness industry, in the grow a social media industry, in the drop shipping, all this. These get-rich-quick schemes always tend to have a course. And I think that's the number one red flag when you're trying to develop a relationship with an audience and your whole mission is just to sell them something. The point is this. Love your social media people. Love your influencers online, your social content creators. That's the word I'm looking for. The content creators online. There's no problem supporting them. You want to cash at people. You want to Patreon people. Just take everything they do with a grain of salt as soon as money becomes involved, because money is money. And it changes the way people are. It changes the way people act. Go back if you can. A lot of them deleted their videos because they thought YouTube was trying to kill them. Go back and watch the old videos and see what's different now. You'll see growth in some people. You'll see some people go from being maybe a smaller presence online to being a much bigger, louder, just a more inviting presence online. But if you go back and you watch some people's older videos, you'll realize that they've always been trying to sell you something from the very start. And the only thing that's changed is maybe their audience has grown organically, or as soon as someone wants to randomly sell you something, it changes the relationship, and you can't deny that. And I'm not saying sell themselves. Every channel online who has a Cash App, a Patreon, anything like that, they're asking for you to help support the content that they make. Right? Because they're trying to sell themselves. Support me if you want to support me. Or don't. Well, maybe their product is doing that same thing. Yeah, but if you go back, it's different. It's different. You can't deny that it's not different. It's different. It just is. It's like your buddy, right? Your buddy, your pal, your friend, you're hanging out. It's your buddy. Your buddy starts a new business. Your new buddy's business is contracting, right? And all of a sudden he's like, hey, notice that siding on your house. Getting a little worn. It's getting a little worn, isn't it? Your buddy's not offering to fix your siding to help you. Your buddy's trying to sell you shit. Now, you, in your heart, go, I'm going to support my buddy. But maybe in your head, you go, the siding looks fine to me. That's all. You can choose to support your buddy. There's no problem with that. The difference is, that's actually your buddy. And online, I'm a person in a screen, smoking a cigar in a garage. Look for red flags and beware the parasocial relationship. What you do with that after the fact, that ain't up to me. That's up to you. If you dig the video, like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTuber things. And click down below to check out my new course on how to be a cigar influencer.